Moving on to our next presenter, Dr. Shan Lakshmanan is the Vice Chancellor of the Beta Center for Transdisciplinary Studies and a Harvard-trained scientist. He received his doctorate in applied physics from Rutgers University in New Jersey. Dr. Shan is the founder and editor-in-chief of two peer-reviewed international journals and serves on the editorial board of 8 other international journals. He's the chairperson of the R&T division of APNA and is part of the scientific committee in integrating spirituality with Organizational Leadership Foundation. Dr. Shan's topic will be Siddha Dharma. Dr. Shan.
Hello, good afternoon. So, I wanted to introduce what is Siddha and Siddha Varma. For people who don't know what Siddha is a most ancient medical system in the world. It is, there are documented evidence of more than 9,000 years history, the medical system, and people have very recently they are trying to find even like 50,000 years information, things about where a continental shift happened in the southern part of India that goes all the way to Madagascar, Australia stretch. It's a huge continent. It's called the Kumari continent, popularly known as Lemuria. Lemuria is a place. Lemur is kind of a monkey, and we associate Ramayan, which is where Hanuman is one of the person is a blend of human and a monkey. It's that dates back several thousand years. So this is a kind of species, and it's very important to mention because in Ramayana there is a Varma in the name of Hanuman, and therefore the understanding of Varma, all these things come from the Siddha, comes from the whole continent called Kumarikandam. So, and Kumarikandam is underneath the ocean, Indian Ocean, and we have bits and pieces like Sri Lanka and other islands. But here, the whole idea is that they developed very advanced technologies, including Varma, and until today, Varma is very secretly practiced, and it's not openly practiced like other systems. It's carefully practiced, I could say, and because it has a lot of side effects if you do not practice in a proper manner. So popularly now in the Ayurvedic tradition, we call marma. Marma is also we have a Tamil root in marma. Marma means mystery, unknown, but Varma is also is another word that was derived in, we can call it marma, vanma. Vanma is like when you try to take revenge, you call vanma, that's a word, and perhaps it could have turned into varma, that's another root. But the whole idea of the varma is for medical science, and then later martial arts also they use it for. So here we are looking at why this Varma, Siddha Varma is important, because here now we are struggling with the modern science. We are depending on modern science to explain the anatomy of our body, and this is the big problem. So this is like you're asking a Western person born here in the United States to make some rasam, which is a soup in India, and explain how the rasam works. This model won't fit because rasam is a soup that's known that has more than 70 medicinal properties. We eat every day, almost every day. So if you know, so how when see we are talking about proteins, new nutrition theory from a Western perspective, but here we have been doing this. The the rasam will balance the vata pitta kapha, right? We call it valialalayam, but we have been using that for from thousands of years. So we would have prevented many diseases by just using that. So if the modern doctors do not know what it is, they cannot explain. So this is very important because unless we enter into another culture and deeply understand that culture, you wouldn't know what it means. So today, see the whole concept of marketing the modern science as if it was real truth, that principle is totally wrong. You have to understand. So I'm a modern scientist too. I have been trained in Harvard Medical School. I took the topmost biophysics. We developed the first Agni Karma nanoneedle. I have a original patent on it. And so we this is an Ayurvedic nanoneedle that developed with part of Harvard. So here the whole idea is that the technology is real, but when it comes to mechanisms, we need to look for modern mechanisms like how our body functions, etc. So here in the ancient technique, everything has been explained in the Siddha, very fundamental core of how each nadis. So what are nadis? Here nadis are tiny little tubes. There are 72,000 nadis tubes in our body, very tiny body. And these tubes through which is called femto neurobiology, or the exact translation of Varma would be, when it comes to the Tamil tradition, the exact translation would be femto neuro biomagnetic therapy. So that means the neurons is not even in the microbiology level. So therefore you cannot detect, because of the uncertainty principle, beyond a certain point, you cannot detect using light whether it's available or not to see in our body. It's not possible. So therefore you have to only do by statistically you can do. Say for example, I press a certain marma points here, and if I'm able to feel something in the ear and you treat, I can, if I treat thousands of patients, then you confirm. So we map these people, thousands of patients, and confirm that there is a connection between this and this, and you map it like how we mapped meridians in the Chinese medical system, and today we have laser acupuncture in Harvard. Similarly, this can be tracked. So people have been doing this for thousands of years, but here there is a language problem. Here, see, you build house in India, Mexico. You are saying like you are building houses with bricks mostly, and old houses here also. But here today we have man-made materials. So we are assuming that the whole world should be built by the same material, and we are going to India and trying to bang the wall, and you see that the nail doesn't go in. Why? Because it's a different wall. So the structure in which these two things, the Ayurveda or Siddha and the modern medicine, is totally different. So this is called a paradigm shift model. So these techniques of how to build a science entirely from the beginning of the origin to all the way to it answers all the questions that are needed. Even any modern scientist comes, they will have to learn this. It's not the other way. So you have to advancedly learn this technique, and then you can know how the operations happen. So here, the Varma, what is the main thing for immunity in our body? So if you look at the nadis, the blockage of nadi is the most uh, the disease what happens in our body is caused by the blockage of nadis. If there is any squeeze or
Dr. Lakshmanan,
damage in
wrap
the
it
nadi
up.
system, yes,
Thank you.
yes, okay. So I have 1 minute,
30 seconds.
30 seconds. Okay, in 30 seconds. So we're going to do some marma points. So here the blockage, removing the blockage of the nadis. How do you do? So there are only 5 points you can remember how to block your remove the nadis from this. So if you look at number one, keeping your hand like this and pressing. So these are marma meridian points here. So pressing like this for 10 seconds and release is number one. So how much pressure you should give? Uh, I would give it like, say, if I beat my hand with the distance of 3 fingers, I will give half of that. I mean, this is double the pressure. I can give up to double the pressure, like 6 fingers distance. So that's the maximum I can give for this. So that's the pressure units. So pressure units have been explained. So immune boosting system, number two, press this point. 3, press like this, 3 points. Number 3, so look at the index finger, pull this downward, press this, pull downward. This is all these things will remove the congestion, main congestion word in our body, and you can remove, say, 3-point marma points. There's 1, 2, 3 marma points here. So you pull like this. So this should be done by with the 3 fingers like this. Press and pull, press and pull, press and pull. So what happens here with the 2 fingers? If you do completely, your immune system will increase. So the whole point of this siddha is to bring the explain how to remove the energies. It's only completely energy system. There are other advanced medicines in siddha, but this is the more fundamental. The varma is the most fundamental technology. In fact, they use what is called the 3 oil. I will just explain this one and then I'll finish. So the 3 types of oil you can use. So if you're using uh, a diya, which is the lamp, you can add 3 types of oil mixture and watch in a black pinhole screen with your 2 eyes. You get immune booster like within minutes. This is a Varma technique to enhance the immunity, and then you do this system. So due to the time constraints, I have a little idea, but I can give you a little idea about this. But you can use this quickly. This the oil, the castor oil, 3 parts, sesame 2 parts, ghee 1 part for the vata person, 2 parts of castor, 1 sesame and 3 for pitta, and 1 castor, 3 sesame and 2 for kapha. So these are techniques you can use to boost your immunity for facing the pandemics. So thank you all. And if you wanted to further information, I'm just typing it in the chat button about the siddha. If you want to learn more about siddha, thank you.
Thank you very much, Dr. Shan. Very, very sharing your insights, beautiful gems.